I love what I do for this reason, that I get to meet people that I wouldn't normally meet.
Yep.
And my good friend, her name is Suzanne. She's a cyclist in town. And she knows what I like to do, and she said, she follows you. And she said, you've gotta get the BBB boys, the BBB people on your show. I looked you up, and it is awesome what you do. So
we appreciate that.
One of you tell me what, let's start with you, Ariel. Tell me, I want you to introduce yourselves, but first I want to know what BBB stands for and what it is, just quickly.
Yeah. Introduce myself later, got it.
What isn't BBB?
I like to work backward.
Bottom Bracket Boys.
Bottom Bracket Boys.
Bottom Bracket Boys, yeah. It was started as kind of like a joke. We had done an alley cat race, which is, what's like a, how would you describe an alley cat?
It's like a messenger. It starts off like as a messenger kind of race, but it involves a manifest. So it's not like there's specific points like that you know to go to. It's kind of like you find these different points based on a manifest to be able to find out where you're supposed to go. So a large part of the skill is knowing your area and how to route there.
Okay. See, people who are, so we're talking about cycling.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Just in case someone didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
And you are a cycling group
Yes.
in town. Okay, we're gonna learn more about, you're not here just because you're cyclists. You're here because of what your group does for and with the community.
Yeah.
Now, let's find out who you are. So introduce yourselves, Ariel and Brandon.
Right. My name's Ariel Marlowe. I'm from Fayetteville, North Carolina. I've been in Austin since the fall of 2019. Let's see. I helped start BBB, run it with Brandon for the most part. I work at Cyclists for the moment.
Yes.
I do our community engagement for the shop. So I run our social media, our bike packing program, bike camping program, coordinate our group rides and like our collaborations with other groups.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. BG?
BG. Also, Brandon Grant. I have been in Austin since early 2015, but I've kind of worn a bunch of different hats since I've been here. I'm a percussionist in the area, so I play like West African drums for some ensembles, but also to kind of complement that lifestyle is also like I do bike delivery work. So I used to do that with Favor more exclusively, but now I do that with Favor, DoorDash, Uber Eats. And that's actually kind of how I have my connection with Ariel is like, I think you saw me for a while, like riding around with like my messenger bag just downtown.
Yeah, you'll always like see Brandon downtown just randomly.
Yeah.
His big bag on his back and he's just cutting someone off.
I don't always cut people off. I just need that to be like said. I just try to be faster than the cars because, that's the biggest safety that you have, speed.
Yes. It takes a lot of courage to do that, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, that's very cool. I've never known personally a bike delivery person. So I
We're a rowdy bunch,
Yeah.
We make weird choices.
Okay, so you're here to talk about Bottom Bracket Boys, and so I'm reaching a certain age where I'm really wanting to get into shape, but I don't do what I need to do.
Yeah.
Cycling is something that whenever I think about cycling, this is a piece of artwork that I ordered from an artist in the UK. I saw her on Instagram. Her art is amazing, and I wanted this picture so bad because I felt like this was me. When I ride a bike, this is how I ride my bike.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
I could totally ride a bike like that with my yoga mat and
Got the plants ready.
got some illustrations by Zoe. So that's me. That's not y'all.
It could be.
Well, no, because I saw you last night. My friend and I, in my mind, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get some cool shots of them riding by, and I'll get ahead of them, and when they're coming, I'll get them coming on either side of me. That's not what happened. What happened was I got where I was the 2 times I could catch up with you, and you all flew by. And it was the coolest thing. I mean, y'all looked cool. You looked real hot. Like, not hot. You looked...
I mean,
Stunning.
And I asked my friend, I said, that's it. And I think I got a couple of shots of y'all just going by. It's pretty amazing. Like it's a serious thing, you're cycling. You seem very serious about it. What does cycling do for you?
I mean, I think cycling for me, and I'm going to speak more from what my history with it is. Because like, honestly, I biked around when I was younger, but like I didn't really get into cycling more seriously until I got to Austin. And for me, like, I don't come from like doing a lot of athletics when I was in school. And I know that's different for Ariel's story, but for me, like, cycling has been that avenue of like getting stronger in a way that allows me to adventure more. Like all these, like the image that you had, even like to be able to like go to these locations. For a while, like I got into cycling because I totaled my car, and that's like a whole other story. So it became like the avenue of like how I got around Austin, and the stronger that I got through that, the more adventuring I was able to do. And I feel like I've gotten strong because of that desire to be able to check out more stuff. And that also, like, to tie in that whole, I mean, we were kind of talking about the kismet kind of thing of like these things synchronizing and like meeting and all that. Like, I feel like having those adventures and being able to travel has allowed me to give insights to other people. And so like, for me, it's not as limited as just like, all right, this is a tool to like get from place to place. It's kind of, this has been my way to adventure. This has been my way to like use the things that I learned to be able to share it with other folks who haven't had that experience. So cycling has been a large kind of broadening kind of experience for me.
Love it. Love all of that. What about you, Ariel? What do you get when you sit on that seat? What do you get from it?
I was gonna say bumps.
A lot of bumps.
A lot of bumps. I ride my bike too much.
That was a good moment. No.
Yeah, I think a lot ties in with kind of what Brandon was saying. It was like the adventure aspects are really what helped pulled me into cycling. I think in the wake of George Floyd's murder in 2020, I was desperately seeking ways to take control of my own life. And so one of the ways I found that was really empowering was like riding my bike. So my bike became the first way I was able to like impact the world around me in a way that felt meaningful. Like just through like cycling itself, through understanding a street well enough to go through like a stop sign or a red light and still be safe and still keep people safe. Like doing little things like that allowed me to get more control over my environment and feel safer and like I belonged and that there was something here for me to grow into. And so a lot of that was like I met Brandon and we began to do things to help challenge ourselves to grow and do more adventure stuff. And that became a really cool way to learn and then to share that with other people and to do it with someone that, saw the world in a similar way as I do, for different reasons. And yeah, it became super important. And so when we started this, I laughed because you said last night was serious. Because when we started this, I actually wanted to do a race team. And I was real serious about racing. And part of that is I come from like a very athletic background, like Brandon alluded to. I played soccer most of my life until like 3 years ago. I quit fully to focus on cycling. And I really wanted to race, and I wanted to like go try those things because Brandon and I had done some adventure racing together. And I was like, I want to compete. I want to do that. And Brandon was like, I just want to keep having more adventures. So I'll join you on some of it. But at a certain point, it was like, I'm all about racing. And Brandon's like, I'm all about adventure and having fun. And so when we started doing BBB rides, it was like we started trying to set it up, trying to figure out how we were going to set it up to like either, you know, if it was going to be a race team to create avenues for racing, or if it was going to be a community thing that we could all grow and learn and do adventures together, then it was going to be that because we just didn't have the bandwidth to try and jump on all of it.
Yeah.
And so we started realizing that people just really just wanted to hang out. Like the biking was a reason to do it, but like, I mean, we would get to the starting point and just sit there talking for 30 minutes before we even got, and then it was like, oh, actually, we're supposed to go on this bike ride. And I was like, and I've been stressed now because I just made the route that day, and and Brandon doesn't have the route for whatever reason.
I just came from a different way of how I lead rides, and sometimes it's like real free form.
And it speaks to like just our differences, but we both want to create a fun, positive space for growth and friendship and stuff like that. But we're definitely on different sides of it. But we've talked a lot, and we've been through a lot, and we agree on we do what's best for the people that we want to serve and that want to participate and get something from this.
Sometimes when you say that's when things click is when there are those differences.
Absolutely.
You know, like chocolate and peanut butter, and you bring them together, and it's really good. Yeah. It works.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Peanut butter.
Oh, I'm peanut butter.
No, you're chocolate.
Yes, right. I am.
And so like last night it was funny because someone on the ride, we went through campus and someone's like, whoa, that's a team. Because like we had the gear, we had like the shirts on, but it was all like, we were having so much fun, and like it felt like the ride was the perfect amount of time. It felt fast. After it was like 9 miles an hour, I was like, we were mostly chilling. But like then there were spots where we would just take off, and and it was just so much fun. And I think like, so when you said that was serious, I was like, oh, you should see us on the teardown, because like, oh man, there are 30 of us in full kits hammering it up hills, and I'm like, and that's serious. I'm at the BBB ride like, hey, you guys want to come do this scary road ride with me next week? They're like, maybe like we could go do it during the day, and I was like, yeah, I guess I could do that.
I would love to see that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a different thing for that ride as well, like as what Ariel was talking about. Like for us, I think we've had a lot of experience just with social rides that we've been on. I've kind of been involved with social rides for multiple years, and so has Ariel since he got here as well. But like to be able to see how like other people were leading those, and then also just like knowing how to get through traffic. So I think at a certain point, like we have our rides, and I know the roads pretty well from my time as being a messenger and knowing like intersections, like, all right, this one's really busy. Like, do we take a right here and all that kind of stuff? Like to be able to use these particular like gifts in the service of like last night we had our Black ride, which is our Black exclusive ride that we do. And for that to be something where we use our skill set for people to be able to have this particular kind of adventure where like we're looking out for people at intersections. We're looking out for people of like, hey, this is a route that's going to offer some challenges that you might not have got before, or like didn't feel seen or taken care of when it comes to other rides that you might have checked out in Austin. So like, that's the thing is like, I think we provide this kind of adventure to happen within Austin to be able to see these different things and then to also feel seen and looked after,
Yes. So that's a perfect segue into this portion. You are a very special, I feel, group here in Austin. So I was born here. We know that the Black population has been in decline for some years. But I say, even though now we're only about 8% of the population, we're here. And so we matter, and we want to be involved. We can contribute, like you all are doing, to society. And so when I think of cyclists, I don't automatically think of Black people. I think, and I would bet that a lot of Black people feel the same, that you think of a cyclist and you think of a white guy or a white woman out on a trail or flying by the way I saw you guys do last night. That's why I love this, because seeing you says to a lot of young Black kids, people like myself who want to get into shape and who might be interested in cycling, but I might think that's really not for me. You show me that it is. Is that part of your mission?
Oh, absolutely.
No.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been in 2 points. I think it's been cool that we mentioned before that Ariel and I have gone to, we were in Colorado for a little bit we both got into a BIPOC race team that was for a year we were training to get ready for this big race in Steamboat Springs called the team's called Ride for Racial Justice. And that was kind of such an important moment for us, and once again feeling seen and looked after. We got kits, we got training from people who've had a lot of background doing races and all that kind of stuff, to be able to get stronger and be able to do this. But to have that group of cohorts, group of teammates who were doing their kind of thing in different cities and areas, because there was 25 of us or something like that. Yeah. So seeing that, and then being able to go to this race after a year, and then seeing other Black and brown cyclists and seeing the work that they're doing in different spots was kind of important for us, because I think we got inspiration from that. I think we were seeing that there were all kinds of people who were doing this, and it's not there weren't other examples. There's the Major Taylor cyclist groups that are all over. Major Taylor was an amazing cyclist, Black cyclist, who went through a lot, he went through a lot of racial discrimination when it came to racing, and I think they even featured him. I think the first time I heard about him was on a Hennessy commercial or something like that. It was something
Perfect.
like that. I'm just saying. That was the first time that I had heard about him, but that was before I got into cycling as much as I have. But to once again still see these images of people like him and the legacy that he has in creating, and all these cycling groups that exist that are of Black cyclists. And once again, I mean, it gives that image, some of the legacy that we have is just from being there to showing up in the way that is uniquely us. And I think that we find inspiration in teams like the Black Foxes, which are paving new ways for Black cyclists or people of color cyclists.
Are they here?
Black Foxes, they're all over. It's initially based off of Aisha McGowan and several other people, but they're all over the place. But yeah, amazing group of people who are trying to pave the way. So I think we've drawn inspiration from them, and also that kind of contributes to that image of we're out here, we've been out here, for a long time. So that is kind of the important thing, is to be able to show that it's not just this image of Lycra wearing white dudes and all that when it comes to cycling. So
yes. Okay, so I went to your last ride, or Juneteenth ride.
Black Street Bike Ride?
What was
The
it?
Black History Bike Ride?
Black History
I thought you said Black Street Bike Ride.
I
was
did too.
Yeah, we're exclusively listening to Black Street.
And I hadn't been on a bike in a long time, and it was horrible. I couldn't finish it. But there were a lot of people of all races, all ages, and it started at the Capitol, I believe, and then you all went, how long was that ride? Do you remember how many miles?
I think we usually do like 10 to 15 or something.
There.
Yeah.
15, yeah.
I think I made maybe 2 miles.
You made it to Clarksville. I remember.
Oh, I got to Clarksville?
Yeah, you made it to
Because
Clarksville.
I think
which is the first stop.
Yeah.
Why you did?
I know. No, I know.
Like
It was
that,
just a reference point. I was trying to give you a reference point.
And there was a hill though.
No,
there
yeah.
was a hill that was
It was a
happening
big
there,
hill.
There was a hill because I remember we were going up it and
So. What you said it
I
there.
know.
I didn't even mean it like that. I apologize. I just
I
remember
gave you mango
trying to
juice
give
and
her
everything.
the
and you
reference
just-
point. Yeah.
My own.
I remember you were on like a. She was like a big wheel. She was on the wheelie bike. She was on a wheelie bike.
Yeah.
You didn't tell me nothing, bro.
Yeah,
I
that
was
was
on a
hard.
badass
That's
bike.
hard. It was a cool bike, but that's hard.
I asked my friend, why did you give me this bike? Because she knew.
She said, I thought you were strong. You are.
Well, no. It was horrible. It was horrible. But I had the best time. The atmosphere was amazing.
Yeah.
So before we continue, because I do want to talk about the adventures, what you all offer, and more about what actually happens on these bike rides, I want people to kind of get a feel for the energy and what happens with your group and when you're cycling.
At first, I just wanted to get fit, but like now it's just fun. I'm so lovingly jealous of all my friends that went to HBCUs. So to be kind of the default in a space feels good.
I mean, for us, it's been a community and being able to have adventure with the medium of the bike. It's kind of my favorite time of the month to be able to have these events where I get to joke around with these friends because, you know, we immediately have this camaraderie, this like joking kind of nature where it's like we're gonna talk trash a little bit and we're gonna call each other out on different stuff, but it's gonna be laugh the whole time.
The cycling community in general hasn't been the most diverse, and like it's been harder to connect with, you know, the cycling community to an extent, but it's just different when you're around like your own people, and so just having the opportunity to just like build a community over cycling, like that's the dream.
For anyone who might be interested in riding with you all, the energy is amazing, and the camaraderie, and you all are just so nice. You're just very nice people.
Nice.
You don't know.
Is that something that you've tried? Have you tried to cultivate that, or is it just natural?
I mean, no. I think the thing is that Brandon and I both very much care about people, sometimes to our own detriment. And so, like, we're both willing to do what it takes to care about people. And we've done a lot of what we've done with BBB has been that we've like done all of this stuff to create this space that not only we needed, but we felt other people needed, and we did it with our time, our money, our energy, stuff like that, because we know that like this is important. And so it's been super intentional to kind of create a space that is necessary. And I think and personally it's been a joy to have Brandon with me, because he reminds me that we're doing this for ourselves too, that it's supposed to be fun. And I think the first couple of times we did it, especially the Black ride, I would get super stressed and like I wouldn't be great to. I was just like I would lead the ride and like no one would talk to me. Well, I wouldn't talk to anyone. Really.
Why would you get stressed?
Because like I wanted to make sure that people had what they needed to feel safe when they showed up. So like if that's having the route early, if that's having a glimpse up when we start, if it's having dedicated ride leaders, active support, if it's having us show up early or on time, stuff like that. Those are things I was very stressed out about.
Well, I can tell you on the ride where I stopped on the first stop in Clarksville, I felt totally supported. And I was on that bike for a good 20 minutes. And all along the way, someone was there asking, are you okay? Yeah. There was someone at the very end of the pack. I know that because I was at the end of the pack. And I felt completely, there was always someone there asking, are you okay? Yeah. So just know that.
And that's on purpose. Like so there's a huge overlap between BBB and Black History Bike Ride. Basically, Talib started it. Talib's a very good friend of ours. He started Black History Bike Ride. We all became friends and did that initial, that Alley Cat race together, decided to do BBB. But it's like we also the three of us are the main ride leaders and organizers for Black History Bike Ride now, just through our passion for the project and our friendship.
What's Talib's last name?
Abdullahi.
Okay, just so people hear that, because I've heard his name come up a lot.
Yeah.
Talib, not Talib.
Yes. Which,
Yes. And so what it was is that we, in this Black History Bike Ride project that we had, we wanted to be able to lead rides without police help.
Yeah.
And so we decided to go about it in a very intentional way of having volunteers and training volunteers and leading the ride in a way that we could keep people safe without having to be authoritarian, without having to cause major traffic problems or get big separations or have a need to have police keep us safe, because like ultimately we don't feel that police keep us safe.
Right.
Like you said, there were people all along the whole ride, making sure that with the Black History Bike Ride that people were cared for, that people were okay, that no one was ever alone. And we do that on purpose. And so we took this same type of, big group, medium group mentality to these small rides. And I guess some of what we realized is that I could chill out a bit.
I mean, it's also hard, like, when you're leading it. I mean, because I have to tell people, I have to do, like, the mental health check at the beginning. It's like, if I'm not talking to you that much, it's because I'm really focused on trying to make sure that I know when our turn is and, like, can we get through this traffic? So, like, but yeah, that's kind of what, that is like a conversation. Like, some of the intentionalness that we were talking about is like conversations that Ariel and I have, and we're like, let's workshop this a little bit better to like work the process out. Because some of it is like, are we getting so stressed that this isn't a space for us to also have fun? Or are we like sitting in this in such a way where like we are the founders of it, but like, is this a space where people feel like they can get in, fit in how they fit in, where they can put their own kind of, who they are into the group. So I think that there's definitely been an intentionalness of how we try to go about this to make this a space for people to just be able to have these adventures and be able to like laugh and just like, like I said, we talk a lot of trash. So,
yes.
So, to hear that we're nice is like, I don't know, we clown people. Like, we clown real quick, but
I think it's like, it speaks to how comfortable we all are in such a short amount of time. Like it's such a cool space that even like, I remember I'd come in on days and I'd be like, oh, I'm having a rough day. And I'd be open about it, like, yeah, actually I'm kind of tired and this, and like someone would make fun of me. And then I'd be like, and then someone else would be like, oh, and then I start laughing. And then we all laugh and we come together, and it's been really cool because like it's a marked difference from me showing up to another road ride and no one really cares how I'm doing and no one cares. They just want to go get those miles. But I come to this and people want to make sure that I'm okay, and if I'm not, they're going to try and make me okay.
That's a very cool place to be. I mean, and that comes through. Like I said, just in the 2 or 3 times I've been in y'all's presence in that realm, it's felt like family. Real quickly, explain what the Black History Bike Ride is.
So this was something that Talib started, and this was like early on in COVID and also right after the murder of George Floyd, that a lot of people wanted to be able to like take action. They wanted to like be able to learn these stories that were broader than like what was kind of just happening, outside of Texas, and like what were the kind of things that were happening there. So Talib already has like a historical kind of connection with the area because of his parents. And I think that kind of just like only furthered in like trying to learn some more stuff around the area. So that first Black History Bike Ride, I think he thought it was going to be like a group of friends. It's going to be like 20, 30 something people. But like in the height of like everybody like being around during protests that were going on during that summer, like I think hundreds of people showed up. It was like, I can't remember how many, like we kept, like, I feel like we've talked about it before, but it's like at least 200 or something people that showed up for that. But yeah, that was kind of the start of it there. And we've grown and done some more rides, like including Juneteenth rides. We've had like a Black women's ride that we did. February. And also, we just got done. I think most of our film is done for our Black History Bike Ride trip to Galveston. That was a 350-mile bike tour that we did.
How many of you went?
3 of us.
Yeah.
And say it again. It was 350. You cycled from here to Galveston.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. From
the Capitol in Austin to all the way to Galveston, and that took us like 4 days to do that.
What was that like?
Ooh. A lot. Anytime anyone asks me how, they're like, what's that like? I'm like, a lot.
Yeah, for it to be like, shrunk down to like 20 minutes, like, you don't know.
Yeah, the doc ends very abruptly, and I'm just like, but what about all the other stuff? No, it was great. I think it was a little weird because it wasn't just like riding. Mm-hmm. It was, we had to make deadlines to meet people and like do interviews. Mm-hmm. And so like we had to at times bike very hard through rough, interesting conditions. Mm. I think it was 4 days. The last 2 days it rained nonstop. Oh. The first day we started and we hit gravel and mud, water like immediately. Oh. It was hot. There were mosquitoes. But it was one of those things that,
whoa, the world's first Buc-ee's.
You figure it out.
Yeah, you go through the gauntlet together. Like, you were talking about this camaraderie kind of thing. Like, I feel like Ariel and I have gone through the gauntlet a couple of times in our experience over the years. So for this to be like another one of those, it's like, yeah, we definitely had moments where it's like, bro, stop talking to me.
It's okay.
But like we also had moments where it's just like how great it is that like, we're doing this together and like actually had like, once again, people looking out for you. Cause like we keep talking about this, like you can be in a situation where you're with other folks and they're just like, I don't know, there's just like an expectation of like staying strong in those moments rather than like, looking for not even like the softness in people, but like the humanity and like, yo, like I'm having a hard time and you like,
yeah.
Right.
People just having this expectation like, oh, they'll get through it. Like I think we have gone through those things where like we know the ways that we can clown each other and the other ways where it's just like, all right, I'll calm down.
That's a gift. I mean, that's a beautiful thing to have.
Yeah.
tell me again why you did the trip to Galveston.
We did it to talk about the story of Juneteenth. And so we started in Austin because the state capital, and then we ended in Galveston because that's where
Executive or I can't remember the
Executive
number.
Order 69.
That sounds right.
No, that's not it.
Oh.
Don't listen to that.
I know what order you're talking
Yes.
about.
Well, we went there, and then we went to like the two places that the order was most likely read, because there's like a little historical debate. We went there, and along the way, we stopped where there had been freedmen's colonies. There was like this old church that we went to that was one of the oldest freedmen's colonies in Texas, and that was one of the oldest churches. And we stopped there, and then we went to where one of the first, or we went to
Prairie View.
Yeah, Prairie View A&M, and met one of the professors and department heads.
We actually also went to the site where Sandra Bland was, the memorial site.
Sandra Bland's memorial site. We camped at the second night. We camped at because it started raining day 3. We camped at the place where what's the guy's name? The Texas fellow, Mr. Houston or whatever. Sam Houston. Sam Houston, like where he brought the first people to. So it's like there's this state park or something, and it's just beautiful. And it's like the first place, like when he came inland, he stopped and then started. And then we just continued along. We went to like the first state capitol. We went to oh God, my brain's blanking. Varner Hogg Plantation and Historic Site, where they do like restorative justice, archaeology, and history talks there. And then we just made our way to Galveston, and we did it. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
And we did it to like. It was something that we had kind of tossed around, and I do a lot of like bike camping and take people on that, and I do long distance rides, and Brandon's always had a lot of interest in it. Talib wanted to do it, and so it was just we decided that we wanted to do, and we wanted to tell that story to fall in line with kind of that Black History bike ride project and what we're doing at BBB to show that like Black Austinites and Texans like belong here. We've always been here. The stories have been here. It just takes people with courage and some resources and having each other's backs and going and doing this thing and learning about not only the history of Black people in Texas, but also a lot about ourselves. And really it set up what's coming next. Like it helped establish these Black futures that we have before us and the things that we want to give to people and create with people. So that's why we did it.
Did you have a crew with you to document your trip? And so you said now there's a documentary about it.
No.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So we had Netaloo Creative was the production company. There were 3 people.
Did they give you mango juice?
No.
They did not.
They brought Taco Bell to the camp out, but they didn't bring any gluten-free options.
Okay.
So I had to, and I'm the one that wanted Taco Bell. And then they got it, and then I couldn't even eat any of it, and I had to sit there while those 2 ate the Taco Bell.
Okay. All right.
So no, you're winning.
Okay, good. Carry on. So the
and then
the branding.
and then Julia and Lauren Vanderank, right? That's how you say the last name. Yeah. They came along to act as the production or producer and the save our life person.
Save your life person.
Yeah, she was driving the supplies van and saved our life.
Cool.
Lots of times.
When can people see the documentary? When and how?
We're going to have an event where we're doing a premiere party at
The Austin Cinemaker space.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Off of Tillery.
Awesome. It's a beautiful space.
It's like, I'm going to get the address wrong, so I don't want to say it.
We'll put it
It's
on.
like Tillery 2200 or
That's
something.
what I was going to say, 2200.
Yeah, something like
Yes.
that.
And when did you say?
November 10th.
Very good.
At 7:30
Yeah.
p.m.
Awesome. I came to Cyclist for a circuit. It's 3 C's: conditioning,
Circuit, cycling, or oh my God! See, this
Cycle
is,
circuit conditioning.
that's what it is.
yes.
So we knew
don't
that
really
we had
matter.
to
It
do.
don't
We knew
really
we had to
matter
do
what
3
was-
C's, and we were like, all right, cool. Like,
Yeah, just do
BBB,
some birds in there.
CCC.
and
It doesn't
yeah.
really describe it.
No, not at all. Hey, I mean, it said conditioning.
Yeah, there's condition. It says cycle.
Yes.
It says it.
And it does say circuit, which is odd.
Says
I gotta take
circuit.
circuit out of there.
Nah, circuit makes sense.
Oh, fair enough. You plug it in.
CCC is led by Pierce, who has an extensive background, like 10 plus years in working as like doing coaching kind of stuff and yoga instructor. With all of that and like being able to tie that in with like a way for people to get stronger. I mean, because there's certain ways that you can get stronger just like exclusively on the bike, but like sometimes you have to do extra stuff to be able to like feel like you get the extra control or like core strength and how much that can like change the game for you. So this was like a cool way for him to be able to get involved, do a donation-based core functional strength exercise kind of thing for people. And he puts us through the ringer. That is once a month. That's kind of been one of the newer part of our programming. I mean, right now we have our Black Ride once a month. We'd like to extend that to have more chances for that. And, you know, that one is more social ride, but like potentially doing some harder effort ones if people want that kind of thing at a different time. Then we have a Friends and Allies ride, which is kind of open up to people who we know through the community who've helped us out in, you know, stuff like they've been like bike marshals for a Black History bike ride, and other people that we just like know through our connections and networking through the Austin cycling scene.
Makes sound so official.
I mean, you know, it's people like that.
I mean, that is who shows up.
Right. And yeah, CCC has been the newest kind of addition to it. So it's been a once a month so far. It would be cool to like kind of broaden more of that.
My last question is, earlier, Ariel, you said, like on the Galveston ride and these other things that you're learning things, not just about history, but about yourself. What have you two learned about yourselves through this that you would like to share?
I won't say that again. A lot. I've learned better ways of doing, or like, I've learned that I can express my true self, and that's okay, and that can be accepted. I think, I think growing up the way I did, and especially I'd say coming to Austin, there's a huge advent coming to Austin. But I decided I wasn't happy pretending to be this person that people liked, as a way to survive, and as a way to feel like, it's like you emulate the things that you think will make you feel cool or will make people like you. And so I think I got to a point where in this journey, I stopped doing that, and maybe a little before I really met them. But it's odd. Brandon and I have been our stories have been connected very early on. And so I feel like a lot of this had to do with Brandon. But I realized that like I could just be myself, and that people accepted that and liked it and cared about it and would support it. And I've learned to do that with my friend.
Aww.
Even when I'm annoying. So, I mean, he still likes me even though I'm annoying.
Yes.
I think we definitely annoy each other.
Yeah, no, for sure.
We learned all the ways that we can be annoying to each other during that Colorado trip, for sure. But yeah, again, to like do that tie-in of learning about ourselves in the ways that I feel the similarity there. Like that resonates with me of those situations where I felt like I had to show up as resilient, or just like, I don't know, like when I recognize the own things that feel like my own inner trauma response to things, where I just like try to do it all on my own. And I'm just like, nah, I'm not asking for help, because like, you know, like people aren't going to show up anyway. So like I push self-reliant a lot. And there's ways where Ariel's just like, why don't you just ask for help? I'm just like, bro, I got it. I'm good. I'm like, I'm fine. And you know, there's times where like I still like am on that, you know, tip, but like I also feel like it's stuff that I reflect on, that it's expansive. It's expansive in a way where like it doesn't have to be like, you know, you got to do it all on your own. Like to find community in such a way where you don't have to feel like you have to be more of a superhuman to actually be a part of it, to actually feel more of your own humanity, like being tapped into, has been like important in this experience.
Thank you both for coming to my apartment and talking to me about this. You're passionate about it, and you are helping expose people to things that is great.
We appreciate
so
it.
Keep doing it.
Thank you.
You are leaders in our community. We need you.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Such a pleasure to meet
Yeah.
you both.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And we'll see you on the next episode of Brainstorm Black.